YouTube farmer the Maverick outside again as the struggle to maintain and retrieve the soul of the world continues. Some international athletics news here. World Athletics introduces gene test for female category. Let me really clap it up. Athletes who want to compete in the female category for world ranking competitions from September will have to take a one-time gene test, says the governing body World Athletics. The new regulations come into effect on September 1 and will be applied to the World Athletics Championships, which will take place from the 13th to the 21st of September in Tokyo. The test for the SRY gene, which is part of the Y chromosome and causes male characteristics to develop, can be conducted via cheek swab or blood test. If the test is negative for the Y chromosome, the athlete is eligible to compete in the female category. If it is positive, they can compete in the female category in non-world ranking competitions or in another category other than the female one. A little bit. It is a test to be taken once in a lifetime and will be overseen by member federations. It is really important in a sport that is permanently trying to attract more women that they enter a sport believing there is no biological glass ceiling. We particularly want to thank our member federations for their support and commitment in the implementation of these new regulations. So basically, what World Athletics are saying now is that women can compete against women and man can compete against men. so this great area where they meet up with some athletes, unfortunately for them, who kind of like are half men, half women, or have an elevation in the male, the male hormone, we give them an unfair advantage. World Athletics finally get the balls now and decides to watch out. We have put on a foot, sport divided into two categories, male and female. And we are going to find a line where if you're over there, so you're male, and if you're over there, so you're female, and you compete against like. As me tell you, a part of the ridiculous agenda where that take over the world, people. Where everything and nobody again. Yeah? And I'm going to say this, and I have no apology for saying it. You see the election of Donald Trump in America. Ideologically, Donald Trump's election and the beliefs on which he flew into office for a second term, some of them maintain some conservative values. One of the things where Donald Trump did say when him going in the presidency the second time is that in America, there will officially be two genders. See, we know the world comprises of two genders. And it's an intermingling of those two genders that has led to the continuance of humanity. A simple common sense, people. The thing did not get out of hand. And at one point, the governing bodies of sport all over the world, various sports, them look like them in coward for touch it. See, World Athletics push out now. We see the boxing federation them a push out now. There's a young man when he win a gold medal in the women's category in Paris. Me feel like that kind of trigger the thing in a boxing. It was so blatant. It was so lopsided. It was so one-sided that this thing where everybody and nobody. It have to stop. We have to bring back some semblance of sanity to the world. And kudos to World Athletics. You remember at one point, they would have a couple of sprinters from Namibia. One named Christine Mbuma. I think Mbuma actually won an Olympic silver medal, But it is obviously she one of them athletes that we have elevated testosterone levels. She have testosterone levels where enable her to compete with an unfair advantage against women. And as World Athletics say, it's all about the integrity of women's sport. People, from a humanitarian perspective, it is sad that some human beings who wish to compete in sport, because of nothing of their own doing, they were born with a particular, I call it a defect, really. These women with the abnormalities who want to compete against normal women, if they go compete against men, they're going to get whooped, because they're not as good. Really and truly, you can't stop people being crazy individually crazy, you know. You can't stop that, you know. And you can legislate people doing what they want to do, you know. In other words, if a man get up one morning and say feel like he might want cow, you can go and feel like you want cow in your little space, you know. If a woman get up one morning and feel like say she want man this morning, she can go and do it in a very little space, you know. That's my personal opinion. My personal tolerance level can accommodate them up to that individual level. So if a man they get up one morning and feel say all these years me I try run against a man them in the athletics and them a beat, so me I go turn one woman now and start compete against woman. That now is where you transgress, my boss. That now you take the thing out of your personal space. If you get up one morning as a man and decide say you want to be a woman, do it in your own little space. Walk up and down in your little room where you have and talk to yourself and look in the mirror and do all of them things there. Do that if you want. But don't come run at the people them good sport and go like you want turn woman overnight. And when you sleep on the other side of your bed and get up, you want to turn back to a man. Keep them something there in your little space, in your little room. You can't come at the people them big international sport and want to come defile it them way there. You're a man. Live your life, well, live your life where you want to live your life, but you're not going to compete as a woman. A simple common sense. When I tell me I wonder, you know, how World Athletics and the other leaders in a sport administration, they're so reluctant to take a stance for something. But a good sense of prevail, people. Absolutely good sense of prevail. You can't go no other way. Me can't understand how anybody with a straight face, you know, can try and defend something like a man, born a man, with all of the advantages of being a man. Physical strength, power, speed. Those are advantages based on your male chromosomes and how you're made up and your testosterone level. Man stronger than woman. No matter what kind of equality them want to preach, man physically stronger, faster than woman, generally. Now we can understand how anybody with a functioning brain would at any point seek to have a man get up one morning and decide to say, woman, and you put him in a race for run against some woman. Anyway, big up World Athletics and big up boxing. I think some of them still get in some other sport, such as basketball. I see some people are playing at the WNBA, which is supposed to be women's NBA. I don't know. At least a progress. I see some people in some other team sport. I see some man I play women's soccer. I guess we have to just take it in increments and continue to fight the good fight for the soul of the world and for the soul of humanity. See? But for the time being, World Athletics say, we are going to run that test upon you. One time we are test you. If you pass it, you're good for run as a woman. If you fail it, you're not run as a woman. Go around there so go run against the man them. If you feel you're so big and fast and strong. Simple common sense. Protecting the integrity of the sport. Maverick, how many? Maverick is not few or two. One Maverick. One